A lot of us is not hip to the historic ways of oppressing us, especially on the southwest side, like the redlining and eminent domain. It's not really talked about too much within the community, so they don't know why or understand why this side of town is not prospering to our northern neighbors.
My name is Kieshaun White, and we are in Fresno, California, specifically the southwest side of Fresno, California.
1, 2, ready, go.
I love just the rhythm, the beat, and just the connection that I have with the drums. I try to tackle and combat pretty much the oppression of environmental racism within Fresno, and that kind of can line up with the poverty, because in the sense of poverty I feel like is when your city pretty much let a specific area within your city kind of down and just completely forget about them and kind of shut them out from all the resources that the other parts of the city is providing.
My name is Marcel Woodruff. I am the director of the Community Justice Network. Like, one of the most exceptional things about Kieshaun is that Kieshaun is just always just willing to be Kieshaun. Like, he didn't feel like he had to be perfect at everything. He didn't feel like he had to meet some sort of like high level standard. He was just knew how he can come to a space and just be open, be honest, and be sincerely Kieshaun. And he had the community around him that said, you know, we're gonna nourish that and love that.
I always felt like Marcel was a great person, had a pure heart. So I always wanted to connect with him. I always used to have conversations with him that varies from like school to money management to coding. So, and he always had the answer. Like I seen him as the human Google, and he seen my pretty much my drive in learning new things.
Kieshaun was that kid who was just designated for poverty, right? He was being conditioned to live in permanent poverty for the rest of his life. And so he would go to school or go be in certain spaces, and he would always be the kid that you bounced out, right? And so I think with Kieshaun, like, the quirkiness is, you know, it was this kid who was just his own kid, but the system around him had already had plans for him and categorized him. But community came alongside of him and said, no, we're gonna love this kid no matter what happens, you know, through and through. And then he lands on the other side, and it's like nobody would have ever imagined that Kieshaun would be where he is, and he's still there and he's going higher.
We wanted to use a space for creativity, so we just didn't want to limit it to just music. So we also try to kind of combine environmental justice with art. So we have a couple of art pieces that the youth did. This is Among Us, and this is The Imposter. So pretty much like how a lot of us is kind of living in a game or not real reality. So, and this was kind of a cool piece that we worked with the youth. This one personally was just kind of the feel of what y'all see in y'all community. As you can see, this is the factories and the pollution that's going up. One issue that kind of stuck to me was air quality. I kind of wanted to understand why was a lot of kids within my neighborhood suffering from like asthma and bronchitis at like alarming rates. Like, you know, kind of like the whole class got inhalers. So that kind of always sparked a question in my head. Then that kind of forced me to find my lane in social justice of ENJ and environmental justice, especially environmental racism within the southwest side of Fresno. So from that, I applied for a grant, a small mini grant of $1,000. With that grant, I was able to purchase an air quality monitor, a drone. So what I did, I cut Fresno into 4 quadrants, and I just randomly identified 5 schools, and each quadrant was a total of 20 schools. Through that process, after I was done, I found out that the northeast side, and compared to this side, is 3 times better, and now the whole northern side compared to the south side is 4 times better. So, and with that, I just felt like no one knew. I was like, how can we keep it going? How can we keep it moving? So we transferred from studying air quality to air quality monitoring. So we can actually have the community can know real-time air quality monitoring within their neighborhoods.
To be honest, this is really my mentor right here. Everything about the air quality management, I just be like, just looking up to him, like asking him questions, trying to learn new things every day.
Yeah, I always see him doing something big with himself, you know? And then when he brought us around here to do the little air quality management, you know, I always like you followed behind him, you know?
I didn't know how big my project was gonna get when I first came up with the idea, but Marcel told me that's $1 million idea right there. I'm 16, I can't grasp that. I'm just trying to do something like this just to stay busy, you know, and to be involved.
With the kids I work with, all of them they're all unique in their own special way, right? They all have different gifts, but it's really the ones that are empowered to just show up unapologetically and be themselves and just learn how to, or just embrace in community and deep relationships. Those are the ones that change the world.